Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mariah Sanctuary. I'm Mariah. Today's live stream is on the topic of stiff person syndrome. The information below came from the article Stiff Person Syndrome is Not What You Think It Is from the Columbia University website. It sounds like something most of us have experienced at one point or another, particularly as we age. But stiff person syndrome is among the rarest of diseases, affecting fewer than 5,000 people in the US. People with stiff person syndrome are stiff, but it's nothing like how you feel after extended time on the couch or a night on a bad mattress. People who have stiff person syndrome experience alternated rigidity and spasms in their muscles. Muscles can be so rigid that they feel like a board, and the muscle spasms, which are extremely painful and can be triggered by stress or other external factors, can create enough force to break bones. The condition tends to worsen insidiously and have a profound impact on the ease of movement, causing an awkward and uncomfortable gait, says Columbia University neurologist Claire Riley, MD. Particularly, it is not recognized. Stiff person syndrome can be severe and life-altering, or even life-threatening. Stiff person syndrome is often misdiagnosed or overlooked until the symptoms are severe and the person's gait is very impaired. Riley spoke with us about the disease and what causes it and how it's treated. What causes stiff person syndrome? The cause of stiff person syndrome is unknown, but scientists and doctors think that the syndrome may be an autoimmune disease, a type of disease that happens when the immune system mistakenly senses something in the body is a foreign harmful substance and attacks it. In stiff person syndrome, it's thought that antibodies of the immune system attack an enzyme, GAD, in the brain and central nervous system. That attack leads to a change in signals sent from the brain to the muscles, causing the muscles to stiffen and spasm or spaz. No, spasm's right. How does stiff person syndrome compare to other stiffness? Stiff person syndrome is a degenerative condition. It is not a temporary stiffness caused by being in one position for a long time. It is not relieved by usual body stiffness interventions like stretching or muscle relaxants. Other medical conditions like multiple sclerosis can cause stiffness, but each condition has its own characteristics. When someone has stiffness in multiple sclerosis, there is also significant weakness. When someone has stiffness and rigidity, a sustained muscle contraction after a stroke, it is more focal rather than disturbed throughout the body. The body's immune responses to cancer can make the body stiff. Type 1 diabetes can also make the body stiff. Who gets stiff person syndrome? Stiff person syndrome affects twice as many women as men. While we still don't know why. Immune diseases in general are more common in women than men. Stiff person syndrome is typically diagnosed in people between the ages of 30 and 50 who have other autoimmune diseases, specifically others involving GAD65 antibodies, mostly and most commonly diabetes, and also people who are women or assigned female at birth. It is possible that people who have less severe manifestations of stiff person syndrome have been overlooked or possibly misdiagnosed with muscle tension. As more doctors learn to screen people, especially people sent to orthopedic clinics, and more people who will get the help they need for the long term. How do you know? How do you know if? How do I know if I have stiff person syndrome? Okay, stiff person syndrome can be suggested by findings on a. Sorry if I pronounce this word wrong. I do have pronunciation problems. E- e- electromyography testing, or an EMG. EMGs assess muscles and nerves that control them. There are also blood and spinal fluid tests to find GAD antibodies, typically found in the disease. Symptoms of stiff person syndrome: we have extreme muscle stiffness and rigidity, more often in the head, neck, back, chest, and limbs. We have, and then less often, but severe in the leg. Extreme spasms, triggered by stress, loud noises, and other environmental stimuli. So severe the person can fall down in the response. Trouble walking, difficulty walking, anxiety, and or depression. Can stiff person syndrome be cured? Not yet. Currently, the effects of immunotherapy on neurological syndromes associated with GAD antibodies are incomplete. How do you treat stiff person syndrome? The best way to treat stiff person syndrome is to address both the underlying um, um, hold on, I think it's immunologic problem and the symptoms themselves. Remove and reduce production of the antibodies and simultaneously treat symptoms with high doses of um, sedatives or muscle relaxants for stiffness, for example. But note, these medications are not prescribed to reduce stress and promote relaxation. The medications are prescribed to control muscle spasms and disruptive motor symptoms. You do not need to control symptoms to give immunotherapies. And you want to address both symptoms: the symptoms that distress the patients and interrupt their lives, as well as underlying neurologic problems. Stiff person syndrome can be quite resistant to treatment, so it can take a long time to feel relief. Um, we do see success in the combination approach to immunotherapy, which is combining steroids with things like intravenous immunoglobulin, IVIG, broad spectrum immune modular B cell sorry, directed agents that reduce the levels of the antibody producing cells. Patients are usually treated by neuroimmunologists or neurologists who specialize in diseases of the brain and central nervous system that are caused or impacted by the immune system. Other such conditions include multiple sclerosis, which involve the autoimmune attack on the nerve protective coating and the infections of the nervous system. No, I'm not interested in a career in medicine. I just talk about disorders or disabilities that I wouldn't cover, and this is one I wanted to cover, so no. Any questions before I say what today's planned video is on and next week's content is on? I've never wanted to do anything in medicine. I mean, I think it's cool people do that. I could never do it. Because I'm very an emotional person, and I could not. If someone like died or something in front of me, I wouldn't be able to handle that. So any other questions? You said, how did I start? What do you mean start my channel? Because I wanted people like me that have disabilities to feel like they had a place where they were helped, encouraged, and supported. Because I know not everyone has a supportive home environment. I wanted them to have one online, and I also wanted a safe space for myself and other people that have disabilities, regardless of what they are, to have a place that was safe for them online if they didn't have one in person. Well, I have both, so that's the reason. Any other questions before I say what? Good question though. Any more other questions before I say what today's planned video is on? Actually, oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Well, actually, today's planned video is on a suggested topic someone actually suggested to me. I put this one was a response video. I do response videos off and on. Most of my content, the video content particularly, is research based. But I started doing response videos where me and other people give our responses on things. So today's planned video is on such the topic of the physical toll on non-diagnosed autism due to constant masking, and that will be released today on my YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's already been released about 3 days ago. Actually, no, almost 3 days ago on my Patreon for people that pay to be on there. My next fun unscripted live stream is on Monday, April 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern. For the people that don't know, those are people ask questions, people be themselves. People typically just listen to me talk. I don't know why. Lot more, you get to see my personality a lot more in those. I'm autistic, dyslexic, and an ADHD, for anyone that didn't know that. Don't try to hide it, which is kind of probably obvious at times. I used to not be myself, but I decided, yeah, we're going to be ourselves from now on. So yeah, and then next, the next scripted live stream, which is next Saturday, April 26th at noon Eastern, will be on the topic of intermittent explosive disorder. Oh, that's awesome! Good for him. I don't think I could ever do a PhD or master's. It was already hard enough to get through school, high school and college. It was already hard enough to do that. So, congratulations to your son. That's an accomplishment in its own. It's not School is not for everybody, which I realized now. Any other questions before I end today's stream? Yeah, I agree. Everyone's different. I do agree with that statement. I know I'm different than most people. Because most people don't have 3 disabilities in one person. I know there are some out there, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's like me, particularly exactly like how I am. But I know no one's gonna be exactly like someone else. Even twins are not exactly alike. But any last questions before I end today's stream? And also for the people that don't know, I put the Saturday streams and the celebratory streams are going to be subs only because of the trolls I've been getting. On my Monday streams, I don't put the subs only because I have my mods in there, but on my Saturday streams, it doesn't seem like they're here, so I put um the subscriber only on this one, and then for the celebratory streams, I did that particularly because I don't want people interrupting supposed to be a fun stream and making it all about themselves and disrespectful. So that's why. Thank you for watching. Love you guys as always. Have a good rest of your week. I guess good start to your week because this is the end of the week. Love you guys. Bye.